If you'd like to see more of our videos, hit the subscribe button to stay on top of the market news. Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today's October 9th, 2020. And today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, we're watching the Dow Jones continue to press higher. While looking at the various markets, there's no major economic event scheduled for today. But looking at the Forex symbols, we're watching them remain with low volume and low volatility, while the Dow Jones continues to press higher, while the NASDAQ is remaining unchanged. Big question mark there. Now looking at the commodities, gold and oil gain, while we're watching in terms of the stocks, banks and Alcoa gain, while tech stocks are sluggish, thereby reflecting on the indices as well. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to take a look at the Euro USD at our 1 hour chart. You can see we're pretty much at that top of the range, 117.74. Nice little rally, but it's got to break above this 1777-ish level, and that could still happen if the Dow Jones continues to press higher. Okay, now looking at the GBP USD remaining sluggish and just being challenged, carrying that a little bit higher here. Aussie USD also gaining a little bit, but nothing really to write home about. Now jumping into commodities, gold gains a little bit to 1909 from yesterday's trading. A little bit of a push, a 20-point push as we get closer to our resistance-ish level. Now this traveled together with the price of oil as oil surged higher to $41.20. Okay, now if you're looking and paying attention to the news, the European Union is actually going into somewhat of a lockdown right now. So I do expect these prices to actually surge back down as, you know, things are kind of going back into a lockdown in the Northern Hemisphere with the spread of the COVID-19. Now jumping into the Dow Jones, this is really interesting. We're trading at 28,387, even hitting a high of 28,490 yesterday. Okay, our next real resistance-ish level is 38.96. We do have a minor resistance-ish level at this level at 28,386-ish level. Okay, so just keep that in mind, all right, as this has been forging higher. Now, it's being backed by some of the major stocks that are representative of the old school kind of economy. The banks, the conglomerates, the production kind of gained type of stocks that are behind the markets. And if we look at that, we'll look at the Alcoa, which is the largest aluminum manufacturer in the United States. It's at 1263, a nice little push higher from our low of 1130, 1120-ish level as it's pushing higher. Now, if we jump into the banks, JP Morgan pushing to 101. Okay, now our next real resistance-ish level is 102. And our next real major resistance level is this trend line that we had that we're breaking this higher. Okay, so as the markets are reeling into September, we're seeing this rotation actually happen. Now taking a look at the NASDAQ, which is raising a big red flag for me, it's not going higher. It's actually slumping here at 11,564. I would expected it to be somewhere in the 12,000 like I mentioned yesterday, and it's not. So meaning to say, which I will make this implication, is that there's relative weakness in the NASDAQ right now, representative of some of the stocks. If I look at them, Apple's not breaking out higher. In fact, it actually sluggish yesterday. Facebook, you know, rallied a little bit, but nothing really above that 264. I would have expected to be somewhere above the 273, considering where we are right now. Facebook also still trading at that 209 sweet level, which has been, you know, the average price that it's been at for the past couple of weeks. Okay, if we look at Amazon also, it's trading at that upper range, but not breaking out higher. So you know, one or two things can happen today. Either the tech stocks are going to make the rotation and get stronger, or are we going to see a retracement in the tech stocks at a certain point? Now, just to add this little tidbit to you, okay, if the Democrats take the presidency, okay, they have vowed to break up some of the big technology stocks, big technology companies in the United States. That includes Google, that includes Amazon and Facebook, okay, which will actually create some sort of pressure on the market to the downside. Okay, markets generally like deregulation, not regulation. Okay, so as such, I think that the reason these things are not going up higher is because there's a little bit of a hesitance until the elections actually happen. All right, so keep that in mind as we're trading into today's weekend. We're only about 3.5 weeks away from the election, so keep that in mind as well. This is Fred Razak, and I wish you guys a great trading day and a beautiful weekend.